We got 8 bays of hard drive storage and we filled it up to 80 terabytes. Stay tuned towards the end because I want to share with you my mistake when it came to putting this thing together. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, I'm Mike, nurse, photographer, and videographer. And in this video, I want to share with you what made me invest in this $2,600 backup storage solution, what I was using before, and with little details of what makes my system work now. Now, before we continue, I just want to establish that I bought this with my own money. There's no changing of hands. All the thoughts and opinions in this video are my own. So with that said, let's begin, shall we? So back in 2015, when I finished college and graduated nursing school, I got a DSLR as my graduation gift. And every year since then, as I started picking it up more and more, I started accumulating more data, especially on the video end. It was a Nikon D7000. Let me know in the comments if you know about that camera. Now in college, I was used to having like 1 to 2 terabytes worth of storage to, keep movies on, because that's what we would do in the Philippines. But when I was taking my own photos and videos, I realized that I needed more storage than 1 to 2 terabytes. So I would have like 4 to 8 terabyte hard drives. Now, if you're new to this data storage realm, an enclosure or a hard drive enclosure is pretty much a casing for your hard drive. Like in a laptop, the body of the laptop is enclosing the hard drive. It's just like a rectangle. External hard drives that you have, those are enclosures. You can break those apart and you can put them in a computer, or you can put them in like what I have, like an 8-bay hard drive or an 8-bay enclosure. But Mike, why do you keep all this storage? Why don't you just delete them? For me, I kind of have like a FOMO. I have a fear of missing out that content. Like I tend to want to keep that footage just in case I want to reuse it in the future. Like using stock footage is a big thing in the filmmaking, videography realm, but I also like to make these YouTube videos a little more personal and kind of have my own taste on it by kind of reflecting and referencing old vlogs, old videos. And then the only thing I wind up deleting are like blurred pictures or like photos and videos that I don't like or don't want or don't work. And of course these A-roll segments where I'm just doing talking head. I keep my raw photos, my edited photos, the final videos, and the B-roll footage that I shoot for these videos. Yeah, so I'm building a whole B-roll library that I can just continue to use over and over. So is there a system to this madness? Well, one of the principles of data storage or data backup is 3, 2, 1. You want 3 copies of your data on 2 forms of media and 1 off-site. So if I come home from a day of shooting, especially if it's a paid gig, I'm going to store the footage, keep it on the SD card, copy it to my laptop, and also copy it to an external hard drive. So then there's the 2 media, the SD card, the external drive, and then the 1 offsite is the cloud, which is in a cloud service that I'm using to back up my 15 terabytes worth of data is Backblaze. And I pay $8 a month for unlimited storage. Do note that if you do sign up for Backblaze, it works best with like fiber optic networks for internet. I used to use Xfinity, which was giving me like 200 download and like 10 upload. Yeah, my backups were taking forever. But with Verizon fiber optic network, I now have 800-900 upload speed and 800-900 download speed. So all of my 15 terabytes worth of data backed up to the cloud. But again, I still have to keep those 15 terabytes here on my external drive. And if anything happens to my external hard drives, I can always request them to send the data back to me through multiple forms of drives. And then I just have to replace that $2,600 rig all over again. This is the price I'm willing to pay to keep the memories intact. So what was I using before this method? Well, as a hobbyist, again, I was using like 4 terabytes, 8 terabytes, even 12 terabytes. And they were all different storage capacities. And this was fine, but there was no easy way to make them all connect to my computer through one single port. I had 4 separate hard drives and I was using a 4-in-1 dongle to connect to my laptop. But what happens when I run out of room again, buy another hard drive, and another one, and another one? Am I just going to continue to use dongles? Yeah, it's just madness. So I started researching bigger storage solutions. And for me, this is what works within my budget and my practice of making YouTube videos and taking photos and videos as a hobbyist and doing this on the regular. RAID systems. RAID stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disks. There's a lot more technical videos that you can watch about how those systems work. Basically, what I have mine set to is RAID 5. And what happens in RAID 5 is, out of my 8 drives, should any one of those fail, I could always take that broken one out and put a new one in, and then it will rebuild itself. I'm using 10 terabytes in each drive, so 70 terabytes are being used. The remaining 10 terabytes is used just for being able to have a backup of the other systems, the other drives. And overall, the whole 7 terabytes, although they are 7 individual disks, They all work as one. The read and write speeds are working together as one, and it's faster. So when I open up my Finder on my Mac or Windows Explorer for the Windows, I just see, oh, it's just one drive, and it's not separated by drive. No, it's all one. Now, if you've been searching around, doing a little bit more digging as far as storage solutions are concerned, you're probably asking, Mike, is yours a NAS? No, mine is not a NAS. And NAS stands for Network Attached Storage. Now with a NAS, I could have my enclosure or my hard drive connected to the internet and I can access it anywhere in the world. I could be in the Philippines or I can be in London and I can access my files through whatever system that they have. The reason why I did not wind up getting a NAS is although the advantage is there to access your files anywhere in the world, it's not cost effective for me to use it with Backblaze because that would be under their B2 category, which would charge me per gigabytes. Yeah, it's gonna cost me a lot in the long run, especially if I continue to add to it. Direct attached storage, that's what mine is. And this is more cost effective for me because on Backblaze, I can have unlimited storage and not have to worry about paying a certain percent or certain cents, cents or dollar for each gigabyte. Let's talk about the mistake that I made when I put this thing together. I did not realize and I did not know and I did not research that once you set up your RAID system, you cannot add drives to that. I initially bought 4 10 terabyte hard drives and I fit them in the first 4 slots. That one worked as the RAID 5 system. That was complete. And then I was going to save my budget for the rest of the year, which is now Black Friday. I was going to reserve the last 4 spaces for those drives. What I was supposed to do was buy or at least have 8 hard drives and set all of them to work as one RAID system. No adding or subtracting working drives. So now what I'm doing is I'm backing up those 15 terabytes found on those 4 10 terabyte hard drives and I'm backing them up to a 4 terabyte, 8 terabyte, and another 8 terabyte hard drive. Yeah, it's a mess. If I were to do this all over again, I would have just bought 8 of those 10 terabyte hard drives and just be done with it. Despite the mistake that I made, I would say that overall, I'm pleased and I'm happy with the way that I have my system going. I still have my data preserved. I'm pretty sure that this rig will last me a long time. It should last me probably for the next 10 years or so. As a hobbyist photographer and videographer, I was so obsessed with just investing in camera bodies and camera lenses. However, there are also other important aspects of this art that we need to consider, which is the lighting, the audio, techniques to put it all together, and as boring as it is, that is part of it. If you're a fellow hobbyist in photo and videography, I don't recommend that you buy this. However, if you think that this is something, or not even think, but if this is something that you really want to continue to work to and always create on a regular basis, like me, I want to continue putting out YouTube videos. Therefore, I know this investment will be worth it in the long run. Then yeah, buy this kind of setup. But for the meantime, maybe just stick with like 10 terabytes or 5 terabytes worth of storage. That's not going to be a bad deal either. And you could also use Backblaze for $6 a month. If you're interested in seeing other camera related videos, I have them over here. Otherwise, here are all of my other pieces of work. I'm Mike, reminding you to add life to what matters. And I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.